So, is raw veganism pretty straightforward, but the moment you meet up with friends and family outside of the home, things begin to fall apart? If that's the case for you, you're not alone. Social environment is a big challenge for many, many raw vegans, and it can determine whether you stay consistent or not on your raw vegan journey. And that's why in today's video, I'm sharing some practical tips and some guidance to help you stay rooted in raw veganism no matter the situation you're in. Let's get into it. So welcome to my channel, guys. My name is Akuj and we're here on the Raw Food Glow, where I teach you how to glow and thrive on your raw vegan journey. We're here in the park again. No Bobby, but there are a couple of other dogs wandering around. Let's see if a dog will come and join us today. So quick shout out to our new members of the Glow Zone, Kiki and Joycelyn. Thank you guys for joining. I'm so excited about your future and we're gonna thrive. We have 3 months until the end of the year, which means that this is the best time to change lanes, take things to the next level and prepare for the brand new year. So if you too want to join the Glow Zone and get your glow on, check all the links in the description box. I'm now in my 22nd month of raw veganism and I've come across this issue so many times and it is ongoing. As long as the rest of the world will not be raw vegan and raw veganism is still something that's quite alien and quite isolating, there will always be conflict no matter where we go. So these tools, these tips, these practical steps will help you navigate that space. And what happens, especially earlier on in your journey, what happens is you're surrounded by cooked food or you're surrounded by processed food. You're surrounded by food, doesn't do anything for you. But because of the pressures of your family or your friends, you feel like you have to try. You feel obligated to eat the foods that you know are not supporting your well-being. Or on the flip side, because there's so much temptation around, all your favorite foods from the last season are there. You say to yourself, I'll just have one bite. But we know one bite turns into two. Then 2 bites turns into 20. And then before you know it, you've finished the dish, the exact dish that you didn't want to have. You've fallen off track and then it's going back and forth between staying consistent and then falling off. If that is the case for you, I want to reassure you that you will overcome and things do get easier. Everybody who's tried something new has fallen, has failed at one point or another. It's just part of the process. So let these practical steps help you and bring some lightness to your journey. Guys, look, we have friends. Hey, Lily. Lily and Henry, okay. Oh my God, ask and you shall receive. I was thinking about dogs actually earlier.
Oh, really?
Oh, you want some as well? Come on, Lily. How are you doing? Are you okay today?
Yeah, I'm fine. You live nearly?
The first section is looking at the confidence shifts. It starts with no longer apologizing for who you are. If you decided to become raw vegan, this is who you are. This is who you've chosen to be. We don't know if it's going to be forever, but for now, this is who you are. So accept that. You don't have to prove anything anymore. You don't have to explain anything anymore. Raw veganism is your choice. And even though raw veganism is still weird and still absurd, and some people call it psycho, it doesn't need validation. The moment you validate yourself, you no longer search for validation outside of you. And we know that the moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you find alignment. And when you're in alignment, not seeking approval, not seeking to please others, you allow the divine to guide you forward on your journey. And that is the ultimate form of guidance that you could ever ask for. Another aspect of the confidence shifts is looking for abundance. Now, when you come to this lifestyle, you offer yourself the opportunity to be abundant. When you look at all the plants that you could possibly eat in the entire world, it is crazy. It's abundance. It is endless. If you think about all the variations of one single fruit or one single herb or one single vegetable, it goes on and on and on. In one seed, you have all of eternity. In alignment with abundance, you get to feel the feelings of abundance, the feelings that last and endure and fill you up in the most magical way. You get to feel good on this lifestyle. You get to have the health that you've always wanted, the fitness that you've always wanted. And this is in direct alignment with the abundant nature of raw veganism. So root yourself in that confidence. Know that you're offering yourself the very best every single time you have a spoonful of raw, living, vibrant foods. Another part of the confidence shift is knowing that you're special, knowing that you're an inspiration to your community, to your inner circle, to your wider group of friends. In a world where sickness is on the rise, all types of autoimmune diseases are on the rise, where it's normal to be on a whole bunch of medication, where feelings of anxiety, depression are normalized. Other mental health conditions are only on the rise and getting worse by the day. When you step into health, when you step into raw veganism, you significantly reduce the risk of all types of diseases. You offer yourself freedom. And in a sick world where there are so many negative habits around health and well-being, the sedentary lifestyle, high processed diet, a lack of self-love, a lack of self-responsibility when it comes to health, you get to be that light for the community. You get to be that light for your inner circle. And even though people aren't saying it, they're sitting there taking notes because everybody wants health. Health is the ultimate ideal. Health is the ultimate objective, because when you have the absence of that, when you are sick in a hospital caused by a lifestyle related disease, the only thing that they could ever desire is health. Health, growth, well-being, these are natural desires. These are innate desires. Everything on earth bends towards the light. Everything grows. Expansion is a normal state of health, a normal state of operation when you are alive. If that's what you've committed yourself to, your own health, your own flourishment, your own well-being, people in your circle will notice. They may not try to be healthy on the first day, on the second day, or even the first month, the second month, but eventually your light will help to lead them there. The next section is the practicalities that you must remember before you attend a specific event. So the first part is eat before you go. Now, there's no one who can nourish your body better than you. You know what you like, you know what fills you up. Just in case you may not find what you need, you may not get the nourishment you need, you get to satisfy your needs well in advance. This lifestyle reminds us that our health and our fulfillment, our nourishment is our own responsibility. It's a wonderful responsibility to have, and it shouldn't be outsourced to somebody else, especially to people who don't know much about health, who don't know much about the lifestyle, who don't know much about raw veganism. If you don't have the opportunity to eat beforehand, you can always bring a packed lunch. Now, again, you know what you like, you know what food will satisfy you, so just bring it. No shame in that. Grab your glass container and bring it. If the event is not that long and you don't want to bring a whole meal, why don't you bring some snacks? And we know raw vegan snacks are super easy because they come ready, packaged by nature. You can grab some bananas, some apples, some dates, whatever fruit you have on hand, whatever nuts you have on hand will suffice. And to make it even easier for yourself, why not prep your packed lunch the night before? Then you're ready to go in the morning. So the third point is to communicate your needs in advance. So in the last 2 years, I went to 2 friends' weddings and I did communicate my needs in advance. For the first friend, the chef wasn't able to provide anything raw vegan. So I knew in advance that I needed to buy food when I got there. And for the second wedding, I also told my friends that I was raw vegan. And so the chef was able to provide me with a meal. And what I had was nice, ripe, succulent mangoes and strawberries and bananas. And it was really delicious and I really enjoyed myself. With this rare and bizarre lifestyle, people are really clueless. So we want to be able to help them. Whenever I have a photo shoot or I'm filming on set, I always communicate to my agent or to the creative director that I am a raw vegan and these are the kind of things that I can have because it's their responsibility to feed me during the working day. Unless you're a raw vegan, most people won't see the difference between honey roasted almonds and raw almonds. People don't see the difference between plantain chips and raw plantain. Plantain's plantain for most people, so they will get it wrong. That's why it's really key that you're able to state what you want, state what you prefer, and expect that of them. My friends know about my lifestyle, so in advance, if I'm visiting them, they'd make a smoothie, or they'd make a salad, or they'd buy fruit that I can eat. For other friends that I'm meeting up with on the day, we go to cafes that have smoothies and juices or raw bites. So the more you communicate in advance and the clearer you are with your communication, the easier it is for yourself and the easier it is for others too. So now let's look at the practicalities at the event. So when you're there, maybe it's the wedding, maybe it's the party, look out for the raw foods. And if you're not sure what is raw and what isn't raw, ask. There's no harm in asking. So if down there they've got the nuts and the seeds and the salads and the cucumbers, the vegetables, the raw dips, you stay there. You have no business on this side of the table where they have all the cooked foods or the meats, the things that you can't eat, you don't want to eat. You should be glued to that side, okay? At the event, we're not doing the explanation. We don't explain ourselves. Well, we're past that now because we have the confidence to hold our own. And this relates to all areas of life where a lot of people have a tendency to explain, to try to justify. But when you're justifying something to somebody who's not going to believe you anyway, it's very, very exhausting. It depletes you of your vital energy. And when you continue to justify and defend, it's easy to fall into self-doubt because other people are giving you a reason why your choice, the choice that you've made for yourself, is wrong, when really you know the truth. You know that you've made a great decision for your life and you get to stick to that. And lastly, you want to shift to focusing on what you can have. Now, when I was at the wedding, there was a lot of nice looking cooked food. There were all sorts of dishes I couldn't even pronounce. It was fantastic. So at the weddings, of course, you know how it is. People feed you well. You're meant to leave full. But when I focused on my nourishing plate, it made sense. It made me feel good. And beyond that, you don't have to talk about what's on your plate. You can talk about anything and everything in the world. There are so many things in the world that you can talk about. Raw veganism doesn't have to be the center of every single conversation. You can talk about your adventures. You can talk about your hobbies. You can talk about how you got to the event. You can talk about how you're getting home. If you're going home with someone, who knows? Okay, so the next part is dealing with social pressures and comments. When you lead with the truth, your truth, you no longer justify or explain. Why? Because the results speak for themselves. Good health never lies. Vitality is not deceptive. Good skin, good, clear, radiant skin can be spotted from across the room. Somebody who prioritizes fitness and working out, their results can be clearly seen by everybody in the room. So therefore, your truth actually speaks for itself. Part of speaking the truth is not with facts about the data and how bad processed food can be, what the effects of having this or this in your diet. Lead with how you feel, because that is the truth. When you talk about what you love, you're sharing your truth, and what you love doesn't need a justification or an explanation. I feel amazing when I eat watermelons. I love how I feel. I love how great this lifestyle makes my skin. I love how much stamina and energy I have. I love that I'm dedicated to looking after my body and working out. I love how confident I feel. I love how light I feel in my body. I really enjoy discovering new fruits. I really love being close to nature. I really love growing my food. There are so many things about this lifestyle that you can share that you love. And when you talk about what you love, you bring so much light and joy to the table. So you're not somebody's teacher unless they ask to be your student. Now, this affects all of us because we all have an ego and we all want to be right. If you see somebody else eating something and they didn't ask for your opinion, you better zip it up. Zip it up. Nobody asks you to be their teacher. You don't need to correct. You don't need to educate. You don't need to change anybody. Just focus on what is on your plate and you'll be good. You might see that a conversation might get a bit heated with this person if you continue on. You have to remember in those moments you're calling. And you were called to this lifestyle for a specific reason. You know why you were called to this lifestyle. So remind yourself of that. Root yourself in that because that will bring you light. That will bring you joy. And that brings you the confidence that you need to navigate the social pressures. When you remember your calling, you remember your vision, you remember your why. Now you step back into alignment. You get to exude that joy, that godly joy that comes with being in alignment. And that's where we all want to be. Alignment is the way to go. And that allows you to surrender into all that is. The next part is looking at long-term consistency, because there's so many temptations around and it might be quite new to you. It's really important that you're in an environment with like-minded people. You might be in a city, in a town, in a village where raw veganism isn't celebrated or even heard of. If that is the case, be very conscious of the digital environment that you're creating for yourself. Who do you listen to that talks about health, that talks about your lifestyle on your phone or whether you're on your computer? What books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What audiobooks are you tuning into? This will help you to cultivate a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging on your raw vegan journey. If you're feeling isolated and you're looking for community, we also have the Glow Zone membership as well. So check that in the description box. In this lifetime, you are free to do what you want to do. And that means you get to establish new traditions. So rather than going to a restaurant where you know there's going to be a lot of processed foods, a lot of cooked foods, why not have a picnic? That's a new tradition that you can start with friends. Alternatively, you can make something for your friends and family and invite them over to yours. Give them a taste of the raw vegan lifestyle. If you're not a coffee drinker, you don't drink processed plant milk, why not have a juice date or a smoothie date instead of a coffee date? You are free to create whatever new tradition that works in alignment with who you are and who you're becoming. And probably the most important part of long-term consistency is celebrating yourself at every stage. Whether you mess up or whether you're on track, you want to celebrate yourself and cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself. Life is not a destination. Life is the process. Living is a process. When you mess up, you're living, but you want to celebrate your life. When you do well, you're also living, but you want to celebrate that as well. From a young age, we're pushed away from self-compassion and self-love, which causes a whole bunch of problems later on in life. But by you celebrating yourself at every single moment, at every single step of the journey, you come back to self-love, you come back to being centered, and you come back to self-compassion. And I know from my own experience that when you come from a place of celebrating yourself, when you come from self-love, when you come with self-compassion, it sets you up for a juicy future. It sets you up for ease and joy and more connection and many more wonderful blessings and synchronicities in the future. And that is how I believe we're meant to live. Blessed and fully loved and fully charged up. So my final thoughts is that it does get easier with time as you continue to honor yourself, or show up for yourself, and really implement the habits that you know keep you steady, keep you consistent on this lifestyle. Your confidence will grow, your skin will glow, and your aura becomes more and more magnetic. Give it time and just keep showing up. Just keep doing your best. As you keep showing up for yourself, as you keep honoring your journey, you encounter less and less conflict, less and less resistance. You create a positive shield around you that does the work. People know that you're so confident, so secure in who you are, they can't mess you. They can't come and knock down your fortress because it is so strong. So people see your fort from a distance and they know, I'm not going there. They keep it moving. They're not trying to invade your space or take over because you have that confidence, because you're rooted in who you are and the truth of your existence. Your environment doesn't have to break your raw vegan journey. In fact, it is forging resilience in you. It is making you more tough. It is making you more resilient. It's making you more rooted in your raw vegan journey. If you want more guidance on your raw vegan journey, I do have some coaching spaces available. This is where we go one-to-one. We delve into the things that have been holding you back on your lifestyle and beyond, and find ways for you to flourish and take up space in your own life and get your glow. If you want to grab one of the spaces for coaching, do check all the links in the description box. As always, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming back to my videos time and time again. I love to inspire you. I love to motivate you. And I love to see you guys win. That's my purpose in life, is to help others win. It's really, I'm so inspired by what you guys are doing and how you're taking control of your health and your well-being. And that's what makes me feel alive, to know that I get to inspire and to help and to guide, and I want to see you thrive. I want to see everyone everywhere thrive. But anyways, I digress. Be sure to like this video and let me know in the comments what tips you have. What have you been doing to stay rooted when you're around friends and family who aren't on this lifestyle? And for more inspiration, why not check out this video here, the do's and don'ts of raw veganism. Until the next video, guys, stay fine, stay fierce, and stay fruitful. Ciao.